Cholo Trucker. I finally got you here.
Yeah. It's a great setup. We're on a high rise. You can see the city
Right,
from here.
look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah. I just hope we don't see any emergency vehicles passing by and takes everything away from what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So say hello to our audience out there.
Hey, what's going on with everybody tapping into House of Rest Church and to David Rocha's channel. I don't know which one this is going under.
David Rocha channel.
All right, and join the membership only because I'm a member, so don't leave me hanging.
Man, I'm really excited because it's been so long that I've been wanting Cholo Trucker to come here, and I'm just like, we came to it's Bible study night, and I was like, man, we got to get in the podcast room, So here you are, man. Here you are.
Here I am.
So I got my first question. There's a lot of people that watch our House of Rest channel, including yourself.
Right.
How long you been watching now?
Oh, man. I first started, I think when I first met you, I was like, oh, okay, let me start tapping in off and on. So it's been probably over a year and a half.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start watching you consistently till maybe... probably not even a year yet, but getting close to a year. I would, if I had a best guesstimation, maybe 8-9 months.
So there's a lot of people that have been watching. And my main question to you is, what was it like being here in person? Because like you said something in the beginning of Bible study. You said, man, I watch, but it's just the stage.
Right.
But you were able to be here.
Yes.
Let people know, like there's a lot of people that hopefully you guys make it here someday, but what was that like for you to actually be here?
It was cool. I got a free Bible. No, in all seriousness, look, when I watch on YouTube, like a lot of you guys do, it seems very small, and by no means whatsoever am I trying to exaggerate and say that it is huge here, because it's not. But yeah, it's definitely not something that I was picturing, that I had in mind. But it's a very nice setup. As soon as I walked in, I was tripping out already. Like just the way you guys got everything set up for the kids, and your cafe, or what do you call it?
Yeah, cafe.
The cafe, and then the main sanctuary, and where we're at right now, little studio here, and it's a nice setup, and immediately I felt like at home. So
that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the setup is one thing, how you make everything look, that can definitely do a lot. But how do you make somebody feel? Yeah, right. That's where it really hits home. And immediately I felt like I was at home.
Well, like a lot of times people, when they come, is obviously it's called a house of rest. And I always want it to feel like a home. Like if you're, if somebody's in your living room, it's because they're your friend. Right?
I would hope so. Yeah. I would hope so.
And so that's our whole thing. It was Sharon and I, we wanted it to be hospital. And you mentioned how we were just sitting out there in front. People were walking in. We're joking. We're talking. Some of us were eating quesadillas or whatever. Yeah. And so hopefully, what would you say to those people that they want to come at least once? Because there's people that watch us from out of state, other places, even other countries. Right. And I guess what would you say to those people that say, man, I want to go there someday?
I was in the same position you were. I was like, you know what? One day I'm going to make it. One day I'm going to go, because it's not like it's down the street from me either. It's quite a few hours of a drive. Heck, if I could remember, I don't know, it's almost 6 hours of a drive or so. But I was like, you know what? I want to make it. It's on my bucket list. And now that I'm here, I want to make sure I come back and do it again. Yeah. I want to make sure I come back and make it again. So to those that are wondering or saying to themselves like, hey, I want to make it one day. I want to make it one day. make it a priority. It's definitely worth it because you're gonna get a different experience than what you do on YouTube. So that's one thing. And everything I see you guys talk about, whether it's the devotionals, whatever it may be, where it's like, hey, afterwards we hang out and talk.
That's why you don't get a devotional.
And everything, right? That's why you didn't get a devotional. Now I see it. Now I experience it for myself because I was here. And I was, what you would call fellowshipping with a brother. He just came up to me. Yeah. We shook hands. We start, hitting it off. He starts telling me about, what he's going through and the rough times he's going through and everything like that. And time just kind of gets away from you. And you're just like, hey, you know what? You just get lost in the moment, just talking and connecting with people.
So people aren't going to get a devotion tomorrow, right? You see, you get it now, right? It's 10:12 and we're sitting here doing this. Yeah. And, they'll get this, actually.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, actually, maybe I'll put this portion of the commercial as a instead of the David Rocha, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But now you understand.
Right. Right. Right.
Because you're a trucker, so you kind of like have your podcast you like to watch as you're driving, right? Mm-hmm. To fill up your working hours. So, guys, I mean, for those of you that are watching, we always want to welcome you here. We always say something that there's we have a seat with your name on it, and I'd like to believe that we're hospitable. I like to believe that usually when somebody comes and visits for the first time, if you come up to me on a Sunday morning and you're like, hey, it's me, I'm so-and-so from, I've been watching you and I'll recognize your name, and you're like, man, I drove 6 hours. There's people that have driven here. We have somebody that drove here from Riverside for a Wednesday Bible study. We have people that come from Sacramento, Fresno, the Bay Area. If you introduce yourself to Sharon and I after Sunday service, we're going to go eat with you because we're just like, I don't want you to just come for a service. We want to break bread, you know what I mean? And that's a really important thing. Even the first time we met at Tony A show. Yeah. We went to the taqueria. Yeah. Yeah. And but I just appreciate you, brother. I do have a second question. You came so we can go talk to a group of high school kids. My understanding is you did it already in San Jose once.
Yes, to a much lower level than we're going to do it now. When I say that, I'm not talking about the students themselves. I'm talking about numbers. So when I did it, it was in a classroom with about 20, maybe 25 kids. Yeah. Where what we're going to do, you and I, it's going to be in front of 3 times, maybe 4 times as more.
Okay. I don't know what to expect. Right. So I think I told you, because originally, shout out to Paul, because he was supposed to do it with you. Originally.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if we're shouting now, but shaming him. He's not here. He is not here. So shout outs or shaming, I don't know. That's up for debate, but he's not here. But no, shout outs to Paul.
Yeah, so originally he was going to do it with you, and then you asked me, or I think he threw me in there.
He texted me and he said like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. Yeah. Good news though, Pastor David said he can make it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I'm like, well, I know him. Let me go ahead and talk to him first, because I didn't know how you guys really worked it out, because it was through text. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna contact my buddy at the school who's setting this up, I want to make sure it's okay with him. So everything fell in line, and ready to rock and roll.
So
or are we?
No, I mean, hey, the Bible says to be ready in season and out of season. So, I'm looking forward to it, bro. And I'm glad you invited me. I'm glad that, I always enjoy fellowshipping with you, man. All the way from when you fought Gunner, all the way to watching you swim from Alcatraz, and I thought a shark ate you. Yeah. When else have we hung out? Tony A's. When you came to San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was a different time.
Yeah, that was a different time. Yeah. We just came up for a baseball game, and you showed us a lot that we would have never seen. You know, those military bunkers that were built back in World War II. That's cool. I never even knew that. Yeah. So, that's and you know, one thing that I do want to mention is that we had people come in to Wednesday Bible study who heard about the church, you guys evangelizing one night. Yeah. We were sitting there and they came in. Yeah. And they had said, "Oh, we heard about you guys through, I think on a Monday that you guys were out there evangelizing." And I'm like, okay, look at, you guys are out there. You guys are out there on the streets putting in that work.
Yeah, we have a team. Me and Sharon aren't always able to go. Mm-hmm. But, well, you know Eli. Oh. And Eli started the team. Hey, babe. You want to come in? No. No? That's Sharon. She popped her head in and she don't want to come say hi. I don't know. Oh, you are going to come say hi.
I just want to be nosy.
Okay. So, but what I was saying was that, what was I saying?
You were evangelizing. And Eli started.
Yeah. So Eli started this. He started a fire basically. So he got a lot of the guys involved, some of the sisters involved, and now it got to the point that even when he don't come, or sometimes, you know, he travels everywhere. We have a whole team that every Monday night they go and evangelize. Meaning, well, in case they don't know what I'm talking about, they get flags. They have this Bluetooth speaker. They have a microphone. They play worship. They sing. They wave flags, proclaiming Jesus. And people come for prayer. There's a lot of homeless and drug addicts. There's a lot of, right in the center of Modesto. And now they're getting to where the people know on Monday nights they go. And then if it's possible, sometimes Eli will bring food or chili beans, right? Last time.
Yeah, we set up some hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, things like that. And people are starting to know, you know what I mean? They're just like, and I think it's a beautiful thing because most churches, they just want to stay within the four walls and that's it. Yeah. But the church should be out there, you know? And, you know,
I mean, look, Eli's the one to do it. I mean, that man, he's on fire for the Lord. You know, every time I speak with him, it just it pumps me up. You know, and that's not even talking to him in person. Yeah, that's talking to him on a screen. Just the way you guys are watching us now, I'm like, wow. I'm like so.
And then he's sick. Every time there's a time for you to meet with him. Man, someday I'm gonna get Eli and this guy in the same room.
So, Pastor, I have a question for you real quick.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to do this tomorrow. Everyone always has a question for when they speak with you. Okay, so we're going to do this, right? Yeah. Speak to the students, okay? What do you think, in your opinion? Obviously, times have changed. Yeah. You know, kids can just look at you or anybody older and just an old geezer, you know. But what's the youth need to hear, or what can, you know, the OGs do for the youngsters, or say to the youngsters, or show the youngsters?
Yeah. To me, that's the hardest thing, because I remember being young and I didn't want to hear nothing myself. I didn't want to hear, but I will say this, that there are moments in my life where somebody said something and I wasn't ready to hear it then. But later on, I remember. I don't forget, you know? And I think that I'm hoping that's what happens, you know, because life is choices and consequences, you know? And unfortunately, a lot of these, here's the thing, as I had a lot of wisdom instilled in me, because I had my dad in my life. And I'm thankful. But what happens to the kid that don't have a dad, don't have an uncle, don't have nobody? What do they have to reflect on? But maybe what if we say something tomorrow that will impact them? Maybe not that, hopefully that moment, but if not, whatever we speak something, some truth or something, that in a moment where they hit rock bottom, or they're heading, or they're spiraling, that they remember something we said. Can you imagine having that impact on a young man? That, maybe let's say there's levels, level 1, 2, 3 on your spiral. But what if they hit level 1 or 2 and they remember something we said that stops them from going even deeper? I don't know that I'm hoping to just share some kind of wisdom, man. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, and you know what? You pretty much nailed it, at least for me, because yeah, just like you, it's like listening. You know, I don't care. I don't care about any. And I still, till this day, I still hear people say, like, man, you couldn't tell me nothing when I was a youngster. And that's where they leave it.
Yeah.
And while I was on that same boat, I could say today, I can think back and say, like, man, I remember those words. And those words ring so true when I was hearing them back when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, you know, throughout my 20s, even though I wasn't ready to listen then, or I was listening, but I wasn't applying it to my life. Only now in these last few years of my life have I really been, you know, applying them.
Yeah. But, you know, another thing too is that, like, for me, I tell people it took me 32 years to become a father. The reason I say that is I was in my kids' life. Even when I wasn't in their mother's life, I've always been there for my kids to the best of my ability in my wicked ways, because I wanted to be on the streets. I want to do this, but I was always a loving father. But the Bible says that when I was a child, I thought as a child, when I put away childish things, you know what I mean, that you become a man at that point. And I realized that even though I started late in being a good, godly example of a father, I realized that maybe they lost those years with me. But now, even though they're adults, they still need me as a father. They still, and for a long time, for many years, I thought that it was too late. But it's not too late. You know, my kids are in their 20s, some in their 30s. And even though maybe I wasn't there the way I should have been in their teen years or in their preteen years, but I'm there now. You know, and I hope that in my life, my years as a good dad way outweighs the years that I wasn't there. You know? Yeah. That's my hope. And it's funny because, like, my youngest daughter, it was just her birthday. And she don't remember me in prison. Okay. She knows me as the Christian pastor dad that I am today. She don't even remember that. You know, because she was so young. She was 1 year. She turned one a week later after I turned one. That's when the FBI got me. And then I was away for 6 years. So I got out when she was 7. Well, now she just turned 20. So I have been in her life out of prison for 13 years now. Really aging yourself here, Pastor. Yeah. I got you. So for 13 years, I've been in her life as a positive Christian dad. To me, that is now almost double of the time before when I was in prison. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so I think I was going off track, and somehow you ended up interviewing me, but I'm interviewing you. So let's turn these tables around. Man, you're using psychology on me. And you know what? I was going to ask something else, but no, go for it. No, that's good. So she never knew Sir Dyno. No. She knows Pastor Dave. Yes. You know. And I was, I know he was. And you know what? And I was gonna continue with it too, but no, you know, the reason why I laughed when you're saying talking right there is because it hit a nerve with me. I think about my sons. You know, I got 2 boys. They're both adults now, young men, and I feel really, really bad to sometimes that I do tear up and cry, knowing how they saw me. Yeah. You know, dealing with my struggles and with my pains and everything like that, and not knowing how to deal with them. And I remember this one time I made my oldest son cry in the kitchen. Not physically made him cry, but just the way he saw me. And he had lost respect for me, and he didn't talk to me for I don't know a few months. But
how you're saying that the good outweighs the bad.
Yeah.
Thank God that, you know, I did do a lot of good, because if there's one thing that I'm proud of, you know, so many people say, hey, proud of this, proud of that. One thing that I'm proud of, I'm really proud of the relationship I have with my sons. I really, really, truly am, especially hearing certain stories and that are heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm really proud of the relationship. I'm really close and good with my sons, and they're kind of my movie buddies. Whenever I want to go to the movies, we go to the movies, and we watch. We go and watch a movie all the time. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of that. Yeah. So,
you know, you saying that. The only one of my kids that really knew me as Sir Dyno was my oldest daughter, man. And I think because of that, she attends here, you know what I mean? And there's this, you know, you have a special relationship with each of your kids. Mm-hmm. But for my oldest daughter, I have said this to her many times. I said, you realize that you're my anchor? And she goes, what does that mean? I said, Mija, I said, as far as I went to prison, all that. I said, you have no idea that had you not been in my life, there are times and moments where even I was behind a pistol about to do something really dumb, and her little face would pop in my head. Mm. And I'm like, if I do this, I will never hold her again. Mm. I said, you were my anchor because you kept me from going too far to see. You know what I mean? And she has, there's times where there was a shooting outside of my house. I'm not going to say which way the bullets were going, but I remember her screaming and hiding under the bed, crying for me because she thought I was the one being shot. Mm. And there's times where I was searched by detectives who pulled me over. There's a lot of stuff that she had to see and deal with. You know what I mean? So for her to now attend here, give her life to the Lord. She has two daughters, so our granddaughters come here. They're part of the kids and running around with the kids. That is just a huge blessing, man. To be able to say, man, I really messed up as a dad, but I'm going to try my hardest to make up for it for the rest of my life, you know, as long as I live, you know. But that's awesome, you know, that you have a great relationship with your sons, for them to see who you are today. And I think that's important, man. Men, I've often said it many times, and I'm sure a lot of people say it. It's one thing to be a dad; it's a whole other to be a father. You know, and that's my goal, man, is just to be a good father. Mm. You know, and I think that's important, and I think that's what these kids tomorrow that we're going to talk to, they need to know. You know what I mean? And maybe they either have no father or had a bad example as a father. But what if being a good father begins with them? Mm. Right. You know, what if it begins with them? Is be the man that, because all these guys, obviously they're kids, they're young, they don't have kids yet, but be the man that you wish your dad was, and be that for your future. You know what I mean? And I think that's important, because if imagine if they say, man, well, you know what? My dad wasn't there for me, or this or that or whatever. I said, okay, they weren't. That ain't fair. Mm-hmm. But are you going to do that to your kids in the future?
Bob from La Bamba said that. So.
What? He said what?
He said, hey, my dad wasn't there for me, so why should I be? Yeah. So, you know, but no, in all reality, you could definitely, you know, make that difference and break that. And nothing wrong with getting a tattoo of your kid's name or their face, but that's not showing the love for your kids, okay? Yeah. I see a lot of dudes that get that stuff and everything, and I don't know where we're going now with this conversation. I was here to interview you, Pastor.
Yeah.
No, but just a lot of that, and it's not just getting a tattoo of your kids' names or their face on you or anything like that. Yeah. You got to live up to that. So. Yeah, definitely got to live up to that. So,
well, you know, I told, you know, as dads, like, you know, I remember saying, man, I'll die for you. I'll die for you. And one time she hit me with that. She was, well, why don't you live for me?
Exactly.
You know, and I was like, oh, man. You know, she's like, I don't want you to die for me. She was like, I want you to live for me. Be in my life. Like, this is, she was telling me this as I was about to get out of prison. And she's like, I'm scared that you're going to get out and go back. Yeah. You know, and she's like, I almost want you to stay here because I like the dad who you are when I come visit you. And I was like, I promise you, I will be that dad still. You know, and I believe I am. You know, I try. You know. Yeah. So, anyways,
we got our work cut out for us tomorrow.
Yeah. So, guys, I just wanted to make sure to get him in here. He came to visit and appreciate it. Appreciate you coming, and look forward to speaking at this school with you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. We'll see what happens, and that's pretty much it. Any last words you want to say before we end this podcast?
Thank you for having me and the hospitality here at House of Rest Church. Again, I don't know why you guys call it House of Rest. You guys don't rest. You guys are. I come in and you guys are working. You guys are putting up lights and, you know, handing me a spread to eat, which was really good, by the way. Which was really good, by the way. But it's like, you know, you guys aren't resting here, but. Yeah, but love the view. And you know what? Again, in all seriousness, shout outs to everybody. Man, you know, this social media thing is really changing everybody's perspective on life, and things are really bad and things are terrible and things are horrible and things of that nature. It's really what you're just going to put your mind to and put your heart to. So, if you're dabbling, you know, in dirt, well, then you're gonna get dirty. So just be aware of where you're putting your mind and your heart and what you're dabbling in. So with that, Pastor, thank you so much. And
how do you end your podcast?
As always, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. Until next time, this is the Cholo Trucker for one, Mr. Pastor David Rocha.
All right. See you guys later.